So quickly, so quickly to state my thesis, people in a lower socioeconomic class are being disproportionately affected by mental health struggles, most notably depression and anxiety in the throes of COVID-19. The article that I chose to research is written by the Washington Post, and they research current rates of anxiety and depression among different age groups and different socioeconomic classes. One of the major finds of the article was that 1/3 of Americans now are showing signs of clinical depression and anxiety. And because of the research, they are pretty convinced that it's because of COVID, this spike in depression and anxiety rates. Something that I found really interesting from the article was that the age group that was that reported to be most affected mentally by COVID was young people. So it's saying that people that are worrying the most and have the most depression and anxiety as a result from COVID are young people, which is interesting because young people aren't affected nearly as much as older people are by COVID. So it's kind of a mismatch between this. Like, if older people are being affected more, shouldn't it make sense that they are having more anxiety and depression rather than young people who are not as much in danger? Something really good from the article is that schools are trying to reopen, which is great, and they're taking lots of preventative measures to ensure people's physical health. They're, spacing desks far apart, and they're not letting so many people into one room at a certain time, one time, which is all really good, except they're not taking people's mental health into account. So they're taking people's physical health from COVID into account, but not taking people's mental health from COVID into account. So that is one area that definitely they need to improve upon. Another big point from the article is that people in the highest income bracket were shown to worry half as much as people in the lowest. Throughout the pandemic, people with lower income have struggled with unemployment, food scarcity, and low-wage jobs that don't allow them to work safely from the comfort of their own home. So if people are working in the grocery store, things like that, store clerks, that all requires them to be physically in the store for them to do their jobs, and those are usually lower paying jobs. So because they're more at risk now for COVID, because they need to be out in the world to do their job and to earn money, that can definitely be a big contributing factor to why they're worrying so much more and to their negative mental health right now. The information in this article is incredibly applicable to all of us, I believe, because we are essentially the demographic that the article is talking about. We are young people, predominantly. We're college students. And given the fact that SMC is, very cost-effective education, I can, kind of conclude from that. I mean, there's so many, reasons why, for enrollment in SMC or in a community college, but one of them is probably because of money, because it's a cheaper education than a lot of other schools. So from that, you can kind of conclude that a lot of people here are probably, coming from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, which means that, we're lower socioeconomic backgrounds and young people, like, we are exactly the people that are going to be affected by this. So yeah, I wanted to give this speech because I think by facing our worries and talking about this issue and working together, I believe this is something that